There used to be a pond about a half-mile away from my old house I would go fishing in. It was nicknamed Daryl's Pond. I still have no idea who Daryl is or why it was given this name. It was in a rural area, so many people would only go fishing there once in a blue moon. It was only usually by myself. I would tie a rope from a pole jabbed into the ground to my kayak, and I would paddle to the middle of the pond. Another person came out from the trees. I smiled and waved at him. He hopped on his boat and rowed over to me. "Perfect day, isn't it?" I said to him. "Yes, absolutely," he said. He didn't say anything after that, to the point where it was a bit awkward. I felt obligated, as if I were to keep the conversation going now. "So did you come out here to throw some lines?" "No, I didn't come here to fish." "Oh well, it's never a bad day to relax on the pond." He rowed over closer to mine, creating a big thud. I was uncomfortable now. I felt weirded out more than threatened. I was only 24 years old. This guy looked like he was in his mid to late 40s or early 50s even. There was an awkward silence. I pretended to be focused on catching a fish, but that was not on my mind at all. This guy was weird. I didn't know what he wanted, and I felt uncomfortable being so close to him. I took a quick glance to my right, and sure enough, he was staring at me. I decided to lock eye contact with him until about 4 seconds passed, and he looked away. "Where are you from?" "Back there." He pointed past the woods at a dirt hill. "What made you decide to come out here?" "Why not?" His replies were dry. He didn't contribute anything to what was barely a conversation. He sat there staring at me with his half of a smile on his face. I was officially creeped out. I rowed closer to shore, pretending that I was finding a better spot to fish. I was horrified when I saw that he was following me. "So, great day, huh?" I got close enough to the edge of the pond that I felt safe to say, "I think I'm gonna call it a day." I looked at him. "I can't let you leave," he said. He lifted up his flannel to expose a handgun sticking out of his jean pockets. When I finally processed what I was looking at, I dove for the land, ran the half-mile back to my house, and locked every door and window. I peeked through the blinds to make sure that I wasn't followed. When I realized that I wasn't, after an hour of being asleep, I heard the sound of leaves crunching from outside. I sat up to hear it more clearly. I would assume that it was a deer or a moose, but after what had just happened, I was still in paranoia mode. The sounds of the steps eventually stopped. "Hey buddy, are you up there?" It was the man. His voice echoed. "Are you trying to sleep?" "Sorry, didn't mean to wake you." I felt like 100 pounds had just fallen onto my chest. I quietly crept downstairs to the kitchen and grabbed the phone. I called 911 like I should have earlier. I went to the temporary safety of my room and whispered my emergency into the phone. 20 minutes felt like an hour as I sat behind my bed waiting in constant fear that I would hear the glass breaking or a thud. Police did an investigation in the nearby woods, turning up nothing. They suggested that I stayed with a family member or a friend for a few days, so I did. I never heard from or saw the man again, but I still moved a month later. I feel more comfortable fishing by the bay now. My dad and